Fairy Tale chapter 507. Now, I thought this chapter was pretty good and pretty heartwarming for what it's worth, for what has been going on with this arc lately, this past couple chapters, with all the bullshit that's been happening. I think this chapter kind of fixed some problems I had with it, or at least did some damage control for what's been going on, and I thought this chapter was very nice and heartwarming. You have Erza stopping Natsu and Gray's power, and it seems to me the reason why she wasn't able to die was because they held back at the last minute when they saw Erza jump in. And her arms are like destroyed. They look like they're like in straight up pain. So she holds off Natsu and Gray, and they get some flashbacks of her crying, and because she's crying again right now, and they realize, oh, I don't want to ever see Erza cry like that again. And Gray, he also has a flashback about Erza. So they both kind of feel bad, and they want to know what the heck's going on. And Erza, she tells them, what are you guys doing? She tells them, never, I don't know what's going on over here, but never raise your hand to a comrade. You guys are friends. Never forget the past that you guys have shared. And they show us a flashback of them being children. I'm like, yeah, seriously. I'm like, how could Gray and Natsu both set aside the past that they shared? More so Gray than anything. Because he just straight up attacked Natsu because of what happened with him and the demons in Gray's past, and I thought that was a very stupid way of going about things. And then Natsu, who was under his E&D powers, who was losing control, who just wanted to kill Zeref, just reacted normally. So, if anything, I blame Gray for this, but they're able to make up. And Erza kind of brings them together, and she says, "I love you guys with all my heart. Never forget that." And it's a really nice moment because then it shows Makarov saying a speech, or his words of the past, and it shows his face as it goes off into the distance. So basically Makarov's death was just to stop Natsu from Gray from fighting. And even though I thought his death was kind of pointless and really boring, and it didn't really hurt, it didn't affect me at all, I thought that it was handled well for what it's worth with Hiro Mashima. He used the death so he could stop Gray from fighting Natsu, and they were able to kind of make up, so to say. And so hopefully, I don't know if they're going to fight again down the line, but I hope if they do fight, it's done well and with reason. But if this is it, if that's their fight, then I'm that's kind of so disappointing, and it pisses me off if that's their last fight. I want there to be another fight, but I want there to be weight behind it. In the second part of this chapter, you have Juvia and Lucy showing up, and I'm like, of course, Juvia shows up because her bullshit death didn't happen or whatever, because Wendy can heal no matter what. Wendy she has more healing powers than Naruto did when he was all hacked up like a god. But she shows up, and then Gray sees her, and he's all relieved, and he just passes out. And then Juvia catches him, but then since she's so weakened by the injury, she passes out. So at least we have that. At least we have their injuries were just so dire that they passed out from exhaustion. At least we have that. Because a character like Erza, you know how Erza gets destroyed and beat up so badly that she's so resilient, she comes back in the next chapter still fighting, and we never see Erza passing out or anything, or her going to the hospital. I wish they would do that with Erza, but they did that with Juvia and Gray, and at least I can ask for that. And then you have a really sweet moment with Lucy and Natsu. She puts her arms around him, and she tells him, "You really know how to make a girl worried." And I was like, "Oh, that's really sweet," because I ship Nalu, and I thought that moment was really nice, and it just shows how close they have become. Oh, another cool thing is that Natsu's claws they disintegrated. They went back to his normal hands. He was able to calm down. Basically, E&D's powers, now that they're released, they come out from rage. But I hope we get more of just rage. I want there to be something else besides rage. There's still so much mystery here with E&D. I hope Mashima doesn't make this paper thin with the E&D character. Now then, the ending of this chapter, you got Eileen confronting Erza. She tells, it's been a long time. And then Erza's like, who the fuck are you? But then Eileen tells her, I am you and you are me, yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, what does that mean? Are you another person from another dimension or something? Or past, time travel here? I just don't know what to think of Eileen's words. Hopefully we get more information in the next chapter. I'm pretty sure we are. But as far as this chapter goes, for what it was worth, you also have some action with August fighting Jalal. And here's the thing, he's fighting guys that are way beneath him, except for Jalal, and I want more action from the Spring on 12 badasses, you know what I mean? It's all about a bunch of hype. It's like, I don't like how Hiramashima is just showing the Spring on 12 beating someone, but they're only showing like the ending of the fight and everyone else is on the floor and you see August just standing above them, and then you see maybe some action scenes here. But it's not like he's not trying to drive down the point that how strong these Spring on 12 are. He's been doing that this whole arc. You see a Spring on 12 fighting against someone else. They skip the fight scene and then you go back to the end and then you see a Spring on 12 standing over the beat down people, or their enemies, and then you see him fight one of the main characters of Fairy Tail, then they end up losing. And I'm like, fuck, I don't like how he's doing that. I need more of August and I want to see more of Eileen. I don't want any more skip fights because these fights are going by way too fast, and we need more of that. And I'm glad we're getting Eileen against Erza, or some kind of fight or something. We might just get an info dump next chapter. For this chapter overall, I'll just give it a 4 out of 5, maybe 3.8 out of 5. It was a nice chapter, damage control chapter, basically, for all the bullshit that's been happening, but it was sweet and it was heartwarming. That's it for me, guys. Hope you guys liked the review. Fantard out.